What's going on, YouTube? It's Jesse coming back to you with another video. And in this video, I want to talk about how you can make money online as a cold email agency. Before we get started, if you haven't already gotten into my free Facebook group below, recommend you get in there. We talk all things email copywriting for clients, inbound closing for clients, and selling a high or low ticket course or coaching program. We also have weekly live Thursday calls so you can show up and get all of your questions answered, but we only go live inside that group. So I normally recommend you make money writing the daily broadcast emails for clients. And that can be for coaches, consultants, service providers, and agencies. Any business that's online needs daily emails written for their business, and you write them. But there's another way that you can get clients as a copywriter, and it's called a cold email agency. So what you do is you find businesses that need sales calls, and you would basically outreach with cold email as a service for that business. So let's say the business was an SEO company, and that company ranks other people's websites. They would use you to go out and get those sales calls. So the people you would probably want to cold email on their behalf is businesses that need SEO services. So let's say you have the SEO company over here, and you've got a company over here that has a website for e-commerce, let's say. You would first sell the SEO company on your service, and then you would go and email on their behalf to get sales calls with the e-commerce stores. And the SEO company would pay you monthly reoccurring. I recommend they pay you at least $200 for every sales call that you book for them. So let's say your first client, you only feel comfortable getting them 5 sales calls for the business, for the SEO company. Then you would charge them $1,000 recurring. But let's just say you feel comfortable getting them 10 sales calls. You would charge them $2,000 a month. $200 is the sweet spot per booked call. And what you would do is you would go to the SEO company, sell them on your service, obviously. That's the first part, selling them on the service. And you can get that client with cold email as well. So you can use cold email to get the client, and then you would the very service that you provide that client is cold email too. So you've already mastered cold email with yourself, and then you can offer that service to this company. So how it would work is you would go to the client, SEO company, and you would tell them, hey, go buy a burner domain for your business. If you don't know what a burner domain is, I've talked about it in previous videos on my YouTube channel. So let's say their SEO company was called SEO.com. You'd have them go buy another domain name. It could be SEO.org, SEO.net. It could even be SEO1.com. Just a different domain name. It has to be one character different, or the .com, .org has to be different. Either or will work. They buy it. They give you the login access to that account, a professional email account. So let's just say it was SEO.com, but now the burner domain is SEO.net. They would go buy a Google Workspace, and they would use their name on it. Let's say that the representative at that company was Jim. So they would buy a email account for Jim at SEO.net. Then you would get the login access to that account and link it up with either Lemlist, Apollo, or Mailshake. And then you would just do what I've taught in other videos on how to get leads. You would go and get email leads from either Apollo, from Lead Leaper, Scraping LinkedIn Sales Navigator. There's so many different tools out there you can use to get these email addresses. You just got to make sure they're the right email addresses, and that's going to depend on what niche you're in. So if you're doing e-com stores, you're going to get leads from a completely different spot than if you're doing agencies. Not always, though. They can be from the same software or same scraping tool you use, but you're going to have to think, okay, who's my client? Who are their ideal customers? And go get the email addresses and then put them into your Lemlist, Mailshake, Apollo, All Pro Web Tools, whatever CRM you're using, and then blast them out in bulk. Let's just say your first client, you wanted to charge $1,000 a month, and you're guaranteeing them 5 sales calls a month. That's about 1 call a week that you have to provide. You have to get them. So you would just focus that whole week on getting that 1 sales call for the client. And if it takes you literally 1 cold email to get that call, you're done. You don't have to feel obligated to over deliver. You give them that 1 sales call and you stop, because you don't want to keep using up your leads if you don't have to, right? If you're meeting the requirements of the client, you're getting those 5 sales calls a month, then don't keep reaching out. Wait till the next month comes around, you bill them again, automatic, and then start getting them more sales calls. But to recap, this method of making money online is great if you're like in a hurry to make money. You can be making money with this method by tomorrow. It's all about how desperate you are. Do you want to go cold email? Get to it. This is a service that's highly in demand, so you're going to have no problem getting clients. And the service you're providing is very simple to give to the client as well, as long as you know what you're doing and how to, the templates that you should use for your cold emails, which I've made plenty of videos on this in the past too. First line is very important. The first line of your cold email for the first email in the sequence. There should be at least 1 to 4 to 7 cold emails you send to one email lead before you give up and stop emailing them. First line on the first email you send to a brand new lead needs to be some sort of compliment, or it looks like you did some research on the lead so that you're not just some spammer. But overall, for a beginner, it can be pretty tricky to pull this off. If you watch this video enough times, you can just put the pieces together. That's why I recommend for beginner, if you're just flat out beginner, then you write the daily broadcast emails so that the service you're providing for the client is a lot easier to provide versus having to sweat every day on cold emails to your client. Instead, you're just writing on a simple Google Doc the daily broadcast email that the client's going to send out for his list. Hope you found massive value in this video. I help 2 different kinds of people. People that want to become freelancers, so they want to make like $10,000 to $25,000 a month writing daily broadcast emails, or becoming an inbound closer or a setter. The second kind of person I help is people that want to sell a high-ticket coaching program, anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000. I have a simple 3-step funnel to sell any high-ticket program to anyone that finds you within 24 to 48 hours. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of my future videos. Peace.